Welcome back to the show, everybody. Have we got one lined up for you today? We're going to talk about Flare and the debacle of the TDE. We're going to get into it. We're also going to talk about the XRP Ledger news. And is David Schwartz's dream scenario actually a nightmare? And is that nightmare actually coming true? We're going to take a look at it today. You're not going to like it, but maybe you will. Somebody wrote that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter for exclusive content. Right now, $1.09 trillion market cap. The market for crypto is flat. Bitcoin 22,900 plus, up 8.3 on the 7-day. Ethereum 1,600 plus, up 3.1 on the 7-day. Tether market cap 66.9 billion. They're saying XRP is 42 cents, and we're up 9.3% on the 7-day. How about that one? And how about this? Link 2, ladies and gentlemen, Ripple has been restocked on the Link 2's investment platform. The team at Link 2 is hustling to keep the shelves stocked. Remember, this was fully subscribed all through the weekend, couldn't get a hold of it. Now back on the board, as there has been increased demand by the global community driven by an unexpected resolution, or an expected or unexpected, to be honest with you. Settlement is not off the table. Expected resolution of this case. If you want to invest and get private equity in Ripple or Link2 or Uphold or PolySign, David Schwartz, Arthur Brito from Ripple, listen, you want to get this stuff, you better not mess around. Click the link underneath this video and check out my sponsor here. All right, let's get into this. We know that the TDE, the token distribution event, went out to the FTSOs, the Flare Time Series Oracle providers. First received 280,000 Flare the day before we all got ours, right? And then there was some selling into the face of the IOUs on BitTrue, right? So there was a market there for them to do that, and they took some profits, and I get it, but this is what Hugo had to say, and there was a long thread about it, but what I'm going to give you is this. It is at best unethical for the FTSOs to have taken advantage of the market to sell Flare prior to the community receiving their tokens. Thank you, Hugo. I appreciate you saying that out loud. I have suggested to the FTSO community that all FTSOs that deposited to BitTrue receive a first strike. This is a general agreement in this. So we'll see what first strike actually means and how many strikes do you get. I don't know all of these things. However, you know, it is said poignantly here by Kieran, who says, where do we find a list of those oracles that did that? I think he said, Hugo had mentioned, when they get that information, they will make sure people know about it. And Kieran also said, it is strange you didn't see that coming. The rug pull is not just a meme anymore. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. But I do appreciate his sincerity and candor on the matter. Shout out to Hugo for that. Right here we see, as we said yesterday, and look, Mark Phillips is bad to the bone. Give him a follow. So much for the XRP and XRP Ledger are centralized argument. XRP Ledger amendment goes live without Ripple's approval. We went over this yesterday. The check cash amendment was amended, and that is exactly right, is that did not need Ripple's approval, and there wasn't a damn thing Ripple could do about it because the XRP Ledger is decentralized. Now, with that being said, this is great news too. Apparently, David Schwartz is working with the Zum Trade feature, probably on the new beta. And it's pretty remarkable. He said, yeah, I can use Zum Trade. So look, the Zum wallet is going to be opening up in ways that we probably can't even imagine, let alone more gateways for fiat to exchange and get yourself into the app and out of the app. So remarkable things taking place all the time. Now let's get into this. Now, you've seen me give you this little 10-second, 20-second clip before, but this is in fact David Schwartz laying out his sort of fantasy dream scenario to all of us in an interview with Anthony Welfare. Listen closely, because I believe we're going to look at some real current geopolitical events taking place by the United States now And we know other countries, and I want you to see this because I tell you, I happen to wonder if this dream scenario is unfolding to be an actual real nightmare before our eyes. Take a listen.
Like a threat to dollar dominance, for example. Like if there was some credible threat to dollar dominance, like that, like I know it's kind of a fantasy here, but like if there was some other country, let's say a large country like, China or Russia that like implemented some system that was some sort of threat to dollar dominance, then you could see the United States responding. If they thought that a technological solution was the best solution, they probably, you would see a priority that you wouldn't see under any other scenario, despite their natural conservatism.
Despite their natural conservatism. And I think it's so spot on because, if you look at the things I'm showing you, it's Saudi Arabia and Bretton Woods ended today. And it's BRICS coalition with Russia and China and India and South Africa all announcing that they have a new payment system that they're going to use, which is in fact distributed ledger technology and digital, right? So then you're talking about getting around SWIFT. And look, all of this that's taking place is for something, right? It is not for nothing. I remind you, this is from the World Bank. Shout out to Nathan Price right here, showing the CBDC system that's being entertained to report approaches on enhancing cross-border payments and settlement. Who's referenced in this? Stellar, Ripple, XRP. This is the World Bank. This is not a YouTuber. Look at the geopolitical events that are taking place. We understand that there's a conflict going on in Ukraine and Russia right now. It is on a very, very dangerous teetering point, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to see more on that in just a second. The U.S. Treasury Secretary has said now a U.S. default could spark a financial crisis and undermine the dollar's role as a reserve currency. Oh, really, Janet? Do tell. Maybe we should hear from Jerome.
Looking forward, rapid changes are taking place in the global monetary system that may affect the international role of the dollar in the future.
What?
Most major economies already have or are in the process of developing instant 24/7 payments. Our own FedNow service will be coming online in 2023. And in light of the tremendous growth in crypto assets and stablecoins, we are examining whether a U.S. central bank digital currency would improve upon what is an already safe and efficient domestic payment system.
Well, there you have it, right? Now that's Janet Yellen, and Jerome Powell said that in middle or summer of 22. And 2023, he cites CBDC stablecoins. He cites new digital payment networks. That he's not talking about other things. He's talking about the things that we follow every single day. Undermine the dollar's role as the U.S. reserve currency from the Treasury of the United States. Then we have a writer, J.C. Collins, big in the crypto community, Ripple XRP space, puts out this thread. And I do not read this to you to be an alarmist. I read this to you because I know J.C. Collins is not someone who likes to stretch or exaggerate or anything like that, as he says himself. He says, WW3 potential drastically increasing. Those who have known me for a long time know that I am not prone to emotional exaggerations or intellectual distortions, and he's not. With that being stated, a corrupted America is pushing the world towards the brink of a global war and possibly nuclear war, he says. I know. Putin is a madman and Ukraine is winning. Wrong. He says Russia, in fact, has decimated the Ukraine forces, 10 Ukrainians to 1 Russian. He says here, and a major offensive is about to launch, which will mean the fall of the eastern Ukraine and in turn, the fall of the Ukraine proper. He says here, forget everything you've heard in the media. This stage of the war is lost. It's why America told Ukrainian forces to abandon Bakhmut, and also why the West is talking about escalating the war and moving to Crimea. Remember, Russia took Crimea, right? The only way to hide the loss is to now escalate the war. It says all this talk of more weapons, more tanks, more money isn't because Ukraine is winning. Poland isn't mobilizing a new beachhead because Ukraine is winning. Things are about to get seriously escalated as corrupt American interests continue the war strategy to maintain their global dominance. The West is fighting the Russian borders. It says not the other way around. I'm tired of living in a corrupt world designed and manipulated by corrupt American interests. I am tired of the senseless murder of people around the world. Well said, JC. Because of those interests, I want to live in a multilateral world where the people of all nations and races are treated with respect and dignity, a world where they have the same opportunities as the West. There is such a thing as civilizational karma. Consider that before you once again parrot the talking points of the Western media whores. This is the real time. This is real time, people. It says Russia will not allow its civilization and nation to fall to the corrupt Western interests who only want to rule the world. Wake up, understand what is happening. Yeah, I tell you, it goes on, but you get the salient point. And again, not trying to be an alarmist, but I think he's making a great point. And in this case, you have to wonder, are we watching that dream scenario of David Schwartz actually become a real live nightmare? It does. It matters. It's all about geopolitical events. Saudi Arabia has announced at the World Economic Forum they're willing to trade in other currencies. And yes, it absolutely poses a threat to the escalated confidence that is brought to the US dollar as a global reserve currency. Janet Yellen is saying this for the US Treasury. She's not a YouTuber. Look, I'm not suggesting that this is all going to happen in a day. Right? Hassan Al-Anazi here in the community reminds us, Central Bank Governor Dr. Fahid says central banks sought to discuss the economic impact, market readiness, possible effective rapid applications for payment solutions using cryptocurrencies. The Saudi banks have already tested XRP. And you know what? He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. From Ripple's site, Ripple and Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority offer pilot program for Saudi banks in 2018, 5 years ago. And it is the central bank for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, KSA, has signed the agreement in 2018 with Ripple to help banks in the KSA improve their payment infrastructure. At the time, it was X-Current. We know it's RippleNet now. And on-demand liquidity should they use XRP. Look, I was told, as DAI was, by the same individual years ago, that XRP was designed to help prevent a moment like we're staring down the barrel of geopolitically right now. Now, whether that involves a 2-month turnaround in the case ending or whether that involves a 5-year, 10-year transition, none of us can know. But I tell you what, I am seeing all of the material things unraveling like a thread being pulled until everything unravels and falls to the ground. We ask ourselves, here's a question here. China holds a lot of U.S. treasuries. So if some of the best, strongest assets today happen to be U.S. treasuries in China's wallet, how does China get out of their position of holding so much U.S. treasury bonds / debt without hurting themselves? Cut your nose off, spite your face. That's why I make such a big deal about why Saudi Arabia has agreed to take the Chinese yuan and use that instead of the US dollar through the Shanghai Exchange, and now announcing they will accept other currencies as well. This seems like a transition phase to a multilateral asset-backed system. That's exactly what this seems like. What I don't know is how long it will take to get there. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.